Hey, it's Birdman time for the Arizona White Mountain Podcast Community Shout. Yeah, we're in April 8th now, so in not even halfway through what we're going to get through, I guess, for COVID-19. We're shortening up the shows to make them sort of segmented. We've got a lot of daily updates and updates from individuals, so make sure you're watching out for those. Got some Summit Healthcare specials about your mental health and how to deal with the stress of COVID-19 and maybe even kids around your home. And we've got some things from other people as well, so make sure you're checking those out, including things from schools and then also the Feeding Collabrative. Okay, so first up, I've got with me my wife. I can say that now. Anyways,
yeah, that's true. That's
Allison
true.
Hephner.
Yes.
Now, you're doing this as, not what a part you do, but actually volunteering this time, the Food Collabrative for the area and helping coordinate and organize some of the people. They're doing a lot of the work, but there's some specific needs, and there are three things we want to dial in this show just to let people know what is it that they need and when do they need it and where.
Okay, so two things that they need this Thursday, which would be, is it the
Today.
9th? Oh, today.
Yes.
Okay, that's just, sorry, before then.
It's the show.
Okay,
yeah.
So two things that they need dropped off at the Recenter between 4 and 5 o'clock p.m. is boxes and cleaning supplies.
Now, when you say boxes, I think you're referring to food boxes or just boxes in general?
I'm referring to food boxes. And
Okay.
you know, like the size of the banana boxes? When
Yeah.
we were on our call, Lynn from Love Kitchen offered those boxes up, and Dr. Wright with Blue Ridge said that those would be fine. So they're working at shifting their program into a food delivery box thing. He'll talk more about it. That's for him to do, but get food to children in boxes that can last like a week.
Yeah,
hopefully.
so if you heard that they were shutting down completely, it's possible that they're going to be continuing operations, so watch for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to help get their food boxes for them. And then the cleaning supplies are for the volunteers there to make sure that they have what they need to be cleaning.
Yeah, when we're talking about cleaning down countertops after
Yes.
food prep, so that kind of a cleaning supply, so, towels and bleach and spray bottles and all those kind of things.
Well, and not just bleach, because I guess bleach isn't for that kind of contamination.
Right, I don't know.
It's like a Clorox bleach is for that contamination. So if you have Clorox bleach spray, that would be awesome because it has everything in it. Oh, that would be great. So there is that. And then the other thing that's important is trying to identify enough volunteers to where they can, the Recenter has the capacity to manage people at a level to where they can be protected.
Yeah.
And when I say about that, the Recenter is protecting people the best they can, but when you don't have enough volunteers, you're having people work together,
Yeah.
and then you have whoever can volunteer that day work with that person. If you're able to subsect this out and you have enough for that, then we can help protect their people better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to volunteer, you need to go to
tcaz.us/help. Now, I'd have that up on Instagram incorrectly a few times. Can't edit that in the Instagram TV, so we'll be making a comment about that. Actually, I made it yesterday on the update, and moving forward, we'll have that. So make sure everybody knows that.
Yes.
Cool.
That's it.
That's it? Good. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, it's Birdman for Summit Healthcare's, and we're hanging out here in the studio. I've got with me Ken Allen. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. How about
So
you?
give everybody your title once again.
I am the Chief of Physician Services for Summit Healthcare.
Okay, so you guys are a little busy right now
I'm quite busy.
and ramped and kind of in the getting prepared mode as well, right?
Yeah, I think we're probably more in the getting prepared mode. And, people are taking the social distancing, to heart. And because of that, actually, some of our volumes are on the downside.
Yeah.
So, people still have the need to receive primary care. We have people that have chronic care conditions that are going to continue to need treatment. One of the things that we're seeing with the COVID virus is those people that have multiple medical conditions or comorbidities actually have a higher mortality rate. So it's important that we keep those risk factors or those clinical parameters under control. And so one of the things that we're doing, reduce exposure, both to patients as well as our providers. The other is to make sure and ensure people have access to medical care. And so from the access to medical care side, we've split all of our providers and their support staff into two groups. We've now opened up all of our clinics Sunday through Sunday, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. That helps to ensure people can get access to care. And then the other thing is we've recently started doing a lot of telemedicine visits. And so telemedicine visits are an encounter that you can have with your provider. It can be on your smartphone or a tablet or a computer, anywhere where you can have a visual transmission or visual telecommunications.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
my
And
pleasure.
thank you for what you're doing there at the hospital.
Thank you.
Remember, you can check summithealthcare.net to find out all the information you need, their Facebook and Instagram as well. On the phone with me now, I have Julie Cota, who is a counselor at Show Low High School. How are you, Julie?
I'm good, thank you. Well, we've been spending some time thinking about and empathizing the position of the parent during this crisis, and wanting to make sure that we were giving them the most current information that they need to have for their high school students. Things in particular focusing on our senior class, making sure that they have all their questions answered. It's difficult for them, I think, because they're going through their kids who are getting the information from social media, and we just wanted to make sure that we established a platform specifically for them.
So, we've always said the statement of, imagine if tomorrow was the last day you did something. Nobody ever thought that they'd go to spring break and then never go to school again and maybe graduate. So it's a lot of things that are up in the air that nobody's ever dealt with before, correct?
Absolutely. It's a lot of details when it comes to education in and of itself. But within the school counseling department, we have lots of details. We have 2 counselors in charge of over 800 kids. So we've got to work with one class at a time, but we definitely are going to spend the majority of time on our seniors because we'll see the other kids next year and we won't be seeing them.
Very good. So once again, Julie Cota with the Show Low High School, and she's a counselor there. Thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Hey, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adam Dell. I'm a board-certified clinical psychologist. I work at Summit Healthcare in the behavioral wellness practice. And it's my honor to talk with you over the next couple of podcasts about some ways that we might be able to manage the stress and the adversity associated with what has now become a global pandemic with COVID-19. I thought that I would just share some things with you from Dr. Russ Harris. He is the author of The Happiness Trap. He is an acceptance and commitment therapy provider, a psychologist. And he's come up with an acronym. But before we talk about it, the first thing that I want to say, and the first thing that he always mentions, is that we must focus on that which we can control. Now, the acronym here is COVID, C-O-V-I-D, and I'm just going to walk through these things very, very quickly. C stands for committed action. This means actions that we can take intentionally, that are goals, that are under our control, that are actually meaningful. If we find ourselves at home more often than not, how can we schedule meaningful time with family or loved ones? How can we connect with things that we value in intentional, committed ways? By doing so, we will live really, really well. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why can bear almost any how." And so if we're moving forward intentionally, taking steps with committed action, with the things that we can control regarding how we care for ourselves, the kind of nutrition that we put in our body, the way that we limit exposure to news and things that increase our anxiety, the way that we connect with other people, these are all things that we can control as part of our committed action plan. So that's the C. The O stands for opening up. Is you've got to find someone that you can open up to, someone who can hear you and understand you and relate to you. Opening up gives us permission to be able to admit when we're afraid. So that's the O. C is committed action. O is opening up. V stands for values. Values are intrinsically hardwired things. Many of us have received those from parents, from religion, from moral teachers. When we live a life that's consistent with our values, even if we're going through very difficult times, we'll be glad to do it. When you pursue these things with your committed action, it makes all the difference in the world. COVI, I stands for Identify Resources. Know where to look for help. Know who to turn to for help, both personally and professionally. Many of you may not ever access engagement with someone like myself for official therapy, but my, relationships within your local church, within your family, those trusted places where you can be open are very, very therapeutic. Just so that you're aware, the Summit Behavioral Wellness Practice includes psychology services and psychiatry services with Kara Quaid. And our number, if you'd like to schedule an appointment, all of the appointments are virtual, is 928-537-6941. The last thing, COVID, the D just stands for disinfect and distance. I'm sure everyone knows this, but this virus can only be spread in close proximity to lots of other people. And so it's incredibly important as we think about what can we control to be focused on disinfecting, washing our hands a lot, avoiding touching your face. Wearing a mask in public may or may not be beneficial to prevent the spread of the virus, but when I have a mask on, I'm much less likely to touch my face. And it's through touching my face that I'm most likely to get the virus because my hands get contaminated. So please take good care of one another and remember that failure can be done alone, but success always takes help. And so please feel free to reach out for help when you need it. Thanks.
Okay, now I'm on the phone with Stephanie Ray, the Executive Director for Arizona at Work, Northeastern Arizona.
Sure. So we've put together, we're calling it a business response team, and our goal is to provide current, accurate, pertinent information and resources to our business community during the COVID-19 pandemic. And we've included, so we're working with Navajo County, Apache County, we're working with the Real Arizona Economic Development Council, local chambers of commerce, as well as the Small Business Development Center and the Small Business Administration local office contact.
Okay, so the overall goal that you have is defined as what?
Providing current, accurate, and pertinent information and resources to our business community.
Okay, so without going into detail, because honestly, we could give out the detail and it'll probably confuse somebody a week from now because some of it will change, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you're going on almost daily or every other day updates. How do people get on that list and how do they get connected to the resource?
Correct. So we have set up an email address. It's employerhelp@navajocountyaz.gov. And if they'll email any questions, specific questions that they have, or just request to be on that email list, we are sending out email blasts every day, every other day as things change, as new resources become available, and that sort of thing. Employerhelp@navajocountyaz.gov.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Rob.
Hey, that's going to be it for this week's Arizona White Mountain Podcast Community Shout, brought to you by the town of Pinetop-Lakeside. And thanks to all of my other sponsors out there. The restaurants, we're giving a break this month, but we're still supporting them. So, if you can help, and you've already gone to a few, help them out. Don't spread around as you got to social distance. And that means, unfortunately, you can only go to so many. Don't try to go to all of them. That's just putting everybody in more danger. We're going to get through this. On the other side of it, we're really going to kick butt when we go out and support them after that. So I'm Birdman, and I will not be seeing you around town. I'll catch you right here on the web.